Well, Family Day was indeed a good day in Oakville as a huge crowd was out to watch a massive tilt between the Blades and the high-flying Trenton Golden Hawks. Highlights coming up in a moment. This is the OJ Today. Welcome, everybody. The countdown to the playoffs is nearly over, and we'll have all the highlights from last weekend's important matchups. Also today, Whitby head coach Scott McCrory will join me via Skype to talk about his squad's fantastic play this year. And we'll have a feature story on this year's RBC hosts, the Cobourg Cougars. But first, the bar down game highlights. And as mentioned on Monday, the stage was set for a huge tilt in Oakville, a possible Buckland Cup finals preview. In fact, as the South Division leading Blades were taking on last year's OJ champions, the Trenton Golden Hawks, and nearly 1,500 screaming fans packed 16 Mile Arena, and they definitely got their money's worth. OJ Highlights now brought to you by Bar Down, official clothing supplier to the OJHL. A clash of the Titans on Family Day in Oakville, and as mentioned, 16 Mile Arena absolutely jammed for the big game, and it only took the Blades 36 seconds to break the ice. Ryan Foss, unmarked out front, he knocks it past Chris Jansen to make it 1-0 for Oakville, and Golden Hawks coach Jerome Dupont not happy, as you can imagine, with his team's start, but they woke up and they got physical. Jackson Bales gets creamed by Liam Morgan cutting through the middle, and Bales had to go to the bench for repairs, but thankfully he did end up coming back after a bit. He was okay. Trenton evens it up late in the frame. Dawson Baker's shot looks like it gets deflected off the stick of Nicholas Tarenko, and they were all knotted up at one apiece, and the rough stuff continued. Tarenko hammers Lucas Brown with a stiff check along the boards. Trenton outshooting Oakville 19-3 in the first, but only had one goal to show for it. Second period, Jansen coming up big for the visitors. Tyler Hildenbrandt on the breakaway, but Jansen flashes the leather. The Blades nabbed the game winner in the third. It's Hildenbrandt getting his revenge. The wicked wrister beats Jansen. That made it 2-1, and 2 was all they would need on this day. So 1,456 was the official attendance. Most went home happy. There were actually quite a few Trenton fans there as well to take in the Family Day Classic as the Golden Hawks suffered just their 8th loss in regulation time this year. Well, we talked last week about the struggles of Stouffville lately and how they need to ramp things up a bit in order to head into the postseason on a high. Well, mission accomplished. The Spirit have flicked the switch over the past week and now find themselves on a nice little winning streak that should give them a boost of confidence come playoff time. A big win against a powerful Kingston squad last weekend certainly turned a few heads. No scoring in the first, so we pick up the action in the second. It's the Spirit right off the draw. Jackson Savory 1-0 for the Spirit 23 seconds into the frame. And then off another draw, Thomas Tinmouth jumps all over the miscue by the keeper who couldn't hold on to the puck. Stouffville looking good, 2-0 at the break. Jump ahead to the third now. They expand their lead as David Cooksis dines out on yet another juicy, delicious rebound. 3-0 for the home team. Kingston gets one back, though. Danny Bosio just parks himself out front, tips it past Aaron Taylor to cut the lead to 3-1 for the Spirit, but Stouffville would put this one out of reach. Andrew Hughes firing it into the empty net. Now, the V's actually got one back, but the Spirit nabbed the second empty netter to make it a 5-2 final. Kingston limping into the playoffs somewhat. They've been playing at around a 500 clip over the last few weeks. The complete opposite of the Spirit, who've been red hot as they took on the GRCs last weekend. First period, check out the awesome tip by Connor Ryder from way out. And it's 1-0 for the home side. Second frame, David Cooksis breakaway. Money. The wrister past Dalton Ewing makes it 2. But then Jack McBain breaks the goose egg for Toronto 10 minutes later as he pokes it past Aaron Taylor to cut the lead in half. But then the other Connor, that would be Connor Evans. Sweet little tip past Ewing. 3-1 Spirit, but the JRCs came out on fire in the third. Artur Turchiev wrists it past Taylor to make it 3-2. And a minute later, Jason Pinio with a backhander that would have made Gordie Howe proud. And they were all tied up. Now, Toronto would actually take the lead 4-3, but Brad Yowert would knot things up with the dynamite wrister past Ewing. and that would be it for scoring. Overtime solved nothing, 4-4 your final. A dynamite game in Stouffville. The Spirit were unbeaten in 6 before going down to Burlington on Wednesday night, but they're definitely looking better now heading into the postseason. On a sad note, the OJHL is mourning the loss of longtime governor and president of the North York Rangers, Brant, who passed away recently.
Yeah, Brant was probably one of the longest serving governors in the history of our league. He's a former board of director, which is elected by his fellow governors, so I think kind of speaks volume to what the rest of the league thought of Brant. His dedication not only to the North York Rangers minor system, but all of hockey in Ontario, including the OJHL, has allowed this game to grow in our province. When you look at Brant in the game, there's thousands of great volunteers across this country who spend countless hours in the rink so kids can play the game, but there's few guys like Brant that truly dedicate themselves to the grassroots. Finally, I think one of the great things about Brant is that he always stood up for issues that he believed in, and more importantly, people that he believed in, which speaks volume again for him as a person. So he will be missed by the league, and I know by his Rangers. Again, he's somebody that was a valued member of our league in the minor system here in the province.
Welcome back to the OJ Today. So this is without question the biggest year in the history of the Cobourg Cougars franchise. Now in late May, the Cougs will host the pinnacle of Canadian Junior A hockey, the Royal Bank Cup, to crown a national champion. Now naturally, as hosts, Cobourg automatically gets a spot in the tournament. However, they've got no intention of using that as an excuse to be there. The immediate goal is winning the Buckland Cup. And with the way they've been playing so far this year, it wouldn't be surprising to see them do just that. So we take a closer look now at the Cobourg Cougars. And this week's team report brought to you by Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk, get stronger every day. The Cobourg Cougars came into this season knowing that all eyes would be on them. As the host of the Royal Bank Cup this spring, the Cougars will take on the best Junior A teams the country has to offer as they vie for the national championship title. Cobourg loaded up for the big run and has assembled a deep, talented squad that's been one of the best in the OJHL all season.
You know what, we had a great start to the season this year. I think that everybody came in great shape and everybody was prepared to play. That paid off early in the season and that got us off to a good start. I think we won 12 straight at one point, which was fantastic. Didn't matter though, our division's so tight. Trenton got off to an amazing start as well. Whippy was a little bit slow off the gate, but they've obviously turned it up a notch as well. So every game in our division is very important.
Strengths, I think we're a big team. We're obviously older. And I think we could bully teams, and obviously we have some good scoring and some good speed, so I think we have the tools to do it all.
I think we're just well-rounded. I think we're willing to work hard, we're willing to hit, we're willing to do the little things that it takes to win games. I think our defensive core is probably our biggest strength.
Josh McGuire was a veteran of the OHL's Peterborough Petes when the Cougars brought him in this season and was named team captain for good reason.
Well, having Josh come into the lineup brings a ton of experience at a high level of compete. And his leadership in the locker room is huge. He's always vocal. He's always leading the guys. He's somebody that I can talk to and relay messages that need to get to the team rather than me coming in and hearing the same voice every day. And what he brings to the game is essential. He plays power play, he kills penalties for us. He's a physical presence. He skates so well that he draws a lot of attention.
Ryan Castleman leads the Cougars in scoring by a wide margin, and paired on the same line with Brendan Locke for much of the season, they've been a duo that's nearly impossible to stop.
Well, Ryan came in this year, and I remember early on in training camp, and he's shooting the puck, and I kept on ribbing him a little bit about hitting the net and stuff like that. I said, if you're going to score 40 goals this year, you're going to have to hit the net. And he looked at me and he laughed. The kid he's just playing well. He's not a big body, but he's not afraid. He's not afraid to get involved. He's not afraid to mix it up with the bigger players, and I think that's a big asset for him because when he does get involved, because he's not so big, he's hard to hit.
Yeah, I mean, we've been line mates for most of the season. I mean, we play really well together. We seem to find each other on the ice. And we've been able to put the puck in the net this season, which is really nice. And I mean, he's going to Cornell next year, which is a pretty unbelievable thing to do.
Brennan Roy is one of the best D-men in the league, and all season has been one of the top scorers for Blue Liners.
He sets the power play. QB's a power play. He finds guys in front of the net. He makes smart choices in the offensive zone. I guess defensively, I mean, he's getting better and better. We even have him killing some penalties lately. So I mean, he plays at both ends of the ring.
Sam Dunn is a rock on the back end, named last season to Team Canada East for the World Junior A Challenge, and he's an intimidating force.
Sam is a big physical presence. He's a man-child, as the guys would like to say, I guess. He's not afraid to mix it up. He takes the body. He actually, and he skates so well for a big man. He can lug the puck up the ice. He's an amazing penalty killer, and he's key on the penalty killing unit.
Stefano Durante has been the starter for the Cougars between the pipes and sports a sparkling 1.98 goals against average. The excitement has been building all year in Cobourg for the RBC, and that excitement is contagious as the team has had to focus on the current task at hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's always running through your mind, but at the end of the day, you really want to earn your way there. You don't want to kind of just slime in there. You want to earn your way, and you want to compete there. You want to win games and actually compete for the championship. So that's our goal.
We have veterans on the team. We have guys that have been around, that have been to the RBC, been to the Dudley Hewitt, and their experience it feeds to the other guys. So we're not taking anything for granted. We're going to work our way through and try to win this thing.
Obviously, around the town, it's the talk of the town, and it's just an unbelievable event to have, and it's going to be a heck of an experience. And hopefully, we can do the best we can. That's for sure.
And of course, before that RBC, the Dudley Hewitt is taking place in Trenton, May 2nd through the 7th at dudleyhewittcuptrenton.com or trentonGoldenhawks.pointstreetsites.com for ticket information. And the big one, the RBC in Cobourg, as mentioned, May 13th to the 21st. You can head to hockeycanada.ca/RBC Cup or the Cobourg Cougars website for ticket information. Let's take a look then at the OJ standings. There you see Cobourg hot on the heels of Trenton, but they're not going to catch them at this point. Followed by Whitby, Wellington, and Kingston. All 5 teams qualified for the playoffs from the East. In the North, Markham, followed by Stouffville, Newmarket, Lindsay, Aurora, and the Pickering Panthers in 6th place. To the south we move. Oakville, followed by St. Mike's, and very close to the JRCs and the Patriots, and the North York nabbing 5th spot in the south. Mississauga in 6th currently. And in the west, Georgetown will be the number 1 seed in the Southwest Conference. They're followed by Burlington, 10 points behind the Buffalo Junior Sabres, nabbing the 8th and final playoff spot. Orangeville's in 4th, and Milton in 5th. Welcome back to the OJ today. So pleased to be joined now by the head coach of the Whitby Fury, Scott McCrory. Scott, welcome to the show. We finally managed to get you on this year.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's been a long year.
Absolutely.
I know we've had some chances, but I've been traveling a little bit too, so appreciate the opportunity.
Man. Yeah, well, you're part of the interview, brought to you, of course, by Edge Again, the portable manual empowered skate sharpening system. You can visit edgeagain.com for more information. And Scott, it's a huge year for you guys. What was celebrating your 10th anniversary, which we're going to get to in just a moment. And it's a very strong team so far this year, battling it out in the Eastern Division there. But before that, this is the first time we've had you on since last year. So I actually just wanted to get your take real quick on last year, where you guys made it into the playoffs, had a hard-fought first-round series against Markham. Just to talk about last year for a second.
Yeah, after we did the interview in Burlington, after that win, we went on a pretty good streak, and we were hot. We knew we had to get at least 12 out of 15 wins to guarantee us a spot, and the boys buckled up their shoes, did a real good job, bought into the system, played well. Unfortunately, in the playoffs against Markham, we lost 2 of our defensemen through injuries in the flu, and I was using Mason Snell, who's now on our team, as a 15-year-old and a 6-year-old. So they had a high-powered offense that just beat us up a little bit too much, and that's why this year we've got some depth on both back end in the net and up front.
Yeah, well, this year, let's talk about it then, because it's been, you guys have done extremely well this year. You've been chasing Trenton all year for first place. The battle between yourself and Cobourg for second place has been fascinating to watch. But you guys really have a great team so far this year as the playoffs approach. Talk about this year and how you think the boys have played so far.
We've had great stretches. Then we have a couple of games where we, I like to call it brain farts. We just think we're too good and just think we can just go out and tie up our skates and play. And some of the not so strong teams in our league have come in and showed us that that's just how our league is. That doesn't matter who you think you are, you can be beaten any night. But in most cases, we've played exceptionally well. Our offense has been really good. Our defense has been great. And our two goalies have been outstanding. So
yeah, well, talking about the offense, let's start with Nick Cork, because he's your leading scorer by a pretty fair margin now. Nick's had a tremendous year. Just talk about what he's meant to the team.
Nick's he's our catalyst on the power play. He works on the back end. I think everybody knows that him and Connor McDavid are best friends. So Connor's rubbed off on him, and he's rubbed off on Connor. His stick skills and his ice vision is second to none in our league, and hopefully we get him a scholarship here shortly. Yeah,
not a bad best friend to have there in Connor, for sure. But the secondary scoring, and I almost feel bad calling it secondary because it's been unreal for you guys. 4 guys grouped together there, and I want to make sure I don't miss any of them here. And you got Keenan, Heaps, Taylor, and Scott Curtin, all over 60 points. Definitely some really good secondary scoring to have for you guys this year. As you mentioned, the depth is definitely there.
Yeah, well, we've kind of spread it out between our 1A, 1B, and 1C line. We don't have a so-called one line, but Luke Keenan is our captain half the season with Justin Brant, so he made Canada East, and I know he put the top line out there. Luke's a really skilled player. Ryan Taylor has an NHL shot, and that's why he has 30 goals and 60-plus points. Ryan Heaps was a second-rounder in the OHL to own sound just for that reason, that he's so skilled. Last year he had to learn that the OJHL wasn't as easy as everybody thought it was going to be, and this year he has. And then Scotty Curtin, I like to call my best player because he does everything for us too as well. So he's a great guy. He's a kid that never played AAA until later on in his minor hockey, and hopefully he gets a nice scholarship this year too.
Yeah, great story. Is in between the pipes, you guys have been absolutely blessed. Like you talk about the lines there, but I mean, in goal it's a 1A, 1B as well with Austin Kane and Logan Gauthier, who've been absolutely rock solid for you guys. It's definitely a good combo to have back there, isn't it, with those two between the pipes?
Yeah, it's a huge asset. As you see, some of the stronger teams in our league, they only have one. They have their key goalie, the guy gets 10 games. We went back and forth with the two of them. And that was straightforward when Logan came from the Osher Generals. I said, listen, Austin, you're going to alternate back and forth. And they've built a rapport that's I've never seen before, even 14 years of pro hockey. I've never seen two goalies get along. They go for lunch together, they go for dinner, they play ping pong, and they have a constant ping pong battle after every practice. So it's a unique group, and the two of them really work hard together. They push each other, so it's easy for a coach to have two young guys like that working their tails off.
On a selfish note, I'm glad they're between the pipes because I think we featured those two on the highlights of the week more than any other goalie so far this year, so they've been great to have. Really quick, give me about 30 seconds on the defense. Obviously, they're a big reason why the goalies have been so successful as well. Snell, you mentioned, who's off to Penn State. You picked up Barnes at the deadline. And Justin Brant, as you mentioned as well.
Justin Brant is he's our other captain. I think right now he's got 40-some points. Riley Smith, who doesn't get a lot of recognition, he's our big defenseman, 55. He plays a rugged game. When he hits you, everybody feels it. So, yeah. And then we have Daniel Barnes, who we picked up, who was with us originally. We needed some depth. Barnes, he's a big two-way defenseman. Alex Boudreau is a defensive defenseman. Then we have Mason Snell has become an offensive juggernaut at 16 years old. His future only looks brighter. And then we have Nikki Sarazani and Patty DeMille are two young defensemen as well that come into their own and grooming, learning from the veterans. So,
Scotty, the 7 minutes goes by so fast. So we're out of time. We never even got to talk about the 10th anniversary, but people can head to the Whippy Fury website to find out more about that. Congrats on making it to 10 years. Congrats on having a great team this year, and good luck in the playoffs, okay, buddy?
I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, take care, buddy.
Congrats on doing a great job for our show, too. So keep her
Tom.
going.
I do appreciate it. Thanks, man. More OJ today coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to the OGA today. Well, with the Stouffville Spirit hotter than a pistol lately, a race which seemed over and done with in the north suddenly is anything but. Now, Markham appeared to be cruising on their way to their second consecutive North Division title, but then they proceeded to lose 3 of 4. Couple that with Stouffville's 4-game win streak, and the Spirit had narrowed the gap to just 2 points last weekend, making it essential for the Royals to pick up a W against the Flyers in Orangeville. And Markham took control in this one from the opening puck drop. Riley St. Onge had himself a game for the Royals. 53 seconds in, he pokes it past Jake Lahr, and it's 1-0 for the blue and white. And 6 minutes later, more from Riley as he victimizes Lahr yet again. And Markham stretches its lead. It's 2-0 for the Royals. And then Sam Hu with the cheeky little steal here, plus the deposit. And the Flyers were reeling down 3-0 in the first. The second was no better. They did get one back within Douglas Carter goes through the legs of Zach Taylor. The Zach Grolowski, oh my. 4-1 Royals. And then it's St. Onge getting the Hattie. 3 goals for Riley. Nice pass from Liam McKay there. And it's 5-1. And yes, it did get worse. Justin Bennett with the one-timer that catches Lahr leaning the wrong way. 6-1 for the Royals. Ouch. Then it's team captain Lucas Condata with way too much time and space here. He makes it a mere formality. 7-1 for the Royals. It was officially a spanking. Now, to their credit, the Flyers refused to mail it in at that point. Nick Cremonesi, his point shot finds its way past Marcus Simeo, and that cut the lead to 5. And then Winston Sesnick, right place at the right time here, as he is going to make it 7-3 for the Royals. They would actually add one more with the Flyers, but nowhere near enough on this day. 7-4 final. Riley St. Onge with a hat trick. He's been fantastic all season. Now with 26 goals in 49 games for the Royals as they try to hold off Stouffville at the top of the North Division. Well, a couple of months ago, if I would have told you that Trenton versus Newmarket would be a marquee matchup, you would have thought I was nuts. And while the jury's still out on that one, last Sunday's game was intriguing. The Hurricanes were unbeaten in 11 heading into this one. And on top of that, these two teams will go toe-to-toe in the first round of the playoffs. So it was a great chance for the Canes to see just how far they've come over a short period of time. And this turned out to be an absolutely wild game. Pick it up in the first now with the Hawks leading 3-0. Marco Bozzo deposits the rebound past Elliot Girth to get the Canes on the board, and it was 3-1. 4 minutes later, though, Trenton gets the 3-goal bulge back. Anthony Sorrentino with the wraparound that finds pay dirt. 4-1 Golden Hawks, but Newmarket gets it right back. Bozzo with the tip out front, and that cuts the lead in half. It's 4-2 at the break, and they kept coming at the start of the second. Sheldon Nolan with the point shot here that beats the completely screened Elliot Girth, and they were making a game of it. Now down 4-3, but Trenton woke up. It's Sorrentino. He was loving the wraparound on this day. He nabs his second of the game to give the Hawks a 5-2. And then an unlucky or lucky bounce, depending on which team you're cheering for, goes up and over Jesse Hodgson to make it 6-3. They would add 2 more to make it 8-3, but Newmarket was on fire in the third. Gorgeous move right there by Alex Arulo, who feeds Quinn Ewell, and that cuts the lead in half. And then it's the man, the legend, Todd Winder to Bozzo for the hat trick, and it's 8-5. Did they keep coming? You bet. Mr. Winder out front makes it 8-6 for the G-Hawks, but it didn't get any closer than that. So, what did Newmarket learn? Well, for one, trying to come back from a 5-goal deficit is pretty darn tough. But don't count this team out. They never gave up in this one, and defending champs Trenton got all they could handle. Okay, one more for you. The Canes were hosting the Muskies. Newmarket had an easier time in this one, understandably. Marco Bozzo, so hot right now, beat Sean Green to make it 1-0 just before the buzzer went for intermission. No scoring in the second. In the third, the Fish fought back. Newmarket can't clear it. Brett Poulin deposits the nice feed, and Lindsay ties it up. It's 1-1, but the Canes would take the lead for good just 30 seconds later. Quinn Ewell bides his time out front. Good things come to those who wait. He goes bar down, and that made it 5-1. They would add an empty netter to make it 3. There's the final. How's this? In his last 10 games, Marco Bozzo has 11 goals, and now he's actually up for the Cy Young. 11 goals and 2 assists. But the Canes will take those 11 goals any day of the week. Bozzo, so hot as the playoffs approach. Top 5 brought to you by Jostens, the official championship ring provider to the OJHL. Number 5, Oakville's Tyler Hildenbrandt with the wicked wrister past Chris Jansen to give the Blades a huge win on Family Day over Trenton. Number 4, you don't see backhanders like this too often anymore. Jason Pinio, as previously mentioned, Mr. Hockey himself, would be proud of that backhander. Number 3, Markham's Doug Carter through the legs of the Flyers D-man out front to Zach Gralowski. Pretty pass. Great finish. Number 2, Alex Cerullo with the little shimmy coming up right here past Trenton's Brandon Marinelli to Quinn Ewell. Beautiful play by the Canes. And number 1, we didn't have time to show this game, but Joe Montezano was kind enough to get us this awesome highlight. Orangeville's Evan Stahl, one hand on this stick, and then he somehow puts it home. Great solo effort against Aurora, and that is our OJ play of the week. And that is going to wrap it up for this week. But just remember, to keep up to date on everything with the league, you can head to ojhl.ca. On Twitter, you can find it at OJHL Official, and on Facebook at facebook.com/OJHL Official. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks, and we'll see you next week.